Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Lecture number 19, unit number 8. This is the course of first year pre-engineering group. In this video lecture, we will discuss the topic which is using factors to sketch the graphs. In previous video lectures, we sketched the graphs of quadratic function by plotting few points in xy plane, two-dimensional plane. In this video lecture, we will sketch the graphs of quadratic functions using their factors. So the target in this video lecture is actually sketching the graphs of quadratic function by using their factors. Mean the quadratic functions will be given in factorized form. So sketching the graph of quadratic functions which are in factorized form. Mean the given quadratic functions will be in factorized form. Okay. Before to discuss this topic, first of all, we briefly discuss that what is a factor and how we can factorize a quadratic expression. So first of all, we will discuss factor, that what is a factor. If I take an example from numbers, so 4 is a factor of 16. What is the reason that 4 is a factor of 16? Because if we divide 16 by 4, so we get a remainder 0. It means that 16 is completely divisible by 4. So if a number completely divides another number, so this number, which is in this case 4, because this 4 completely divides 16. By completely divide, we mean when the remainder get 0. So that number is called the factor. And this 16 is called multiple of 4. 16 is called multiple of 4. Also 2 is also a factor of 16. 1 is also a factor of 16. 16 is also a factor of 16. 8 is also a factor of 16. So this is about the factor when you are discussing numbers. Now in algebraic expressions, what will be the factor? Let's say we have now example while considering algebraic expressions. You know that now I am saying x minus 1 is a factor of x square minus 1. So if this x square minus 1 is a factor of x square minus 1, so this x square minus 1 will be completely divisible by x minus 1. Or you can say x minus 1 will completely divide this x square minus 1. Then x minus 1 is said to be a factor of x square minus 1. So if you see for verification, this is x square minus 1, this is x minus 1. So when I multiply x, so that become x square, then minus x plus minus, that become plus. So this will be cancelled. This is x minus 1, so plus 1. This is x minus 1, that become plus 1. This is plus. So this is 0. So you see that the remainder is 0. So when the remainder is 0, so it means that this x square minus 1 is completely divisible by x minus 1. So therefore x minus 1 is a factor of x square minus 1. Similarly x plus 1 is also a factor of x square minus 1 because it divides this expression. Mean this expression is completely divisible by x plus 1, so that x plus 1 is called a factor. But remember, this x minus 1 and this x plus 1 are the linear factors of this quadratic expression. You see, this is a quadratic expression, so remember, quadratic expressions can be expressed as a product of two linear factors. In this case, if I write, you clearly know that x square minus 1 is equal to x plus 1 and x minus 1. So whenever someone asks from you that factorize the given quadratic expression, so you need to check that it either in some cases that algebraic expressions will be factorized by using some formula. In this case, you see that I use formula a square minus b square. In some cases you will use extreme means method. In some case you will use the completing square method. So you clearly see that this quadratic, this is one of the example. This quadratic, because the highest power of the variable is 2, so that's why this is quadratic. So this quadratic expression, now in this case this is expression, is, you clearly see that, is converted into the product of two linear factors. This is also a linear factor, this is also a linear factor. Why x plus 1 and x minus 1 are the factors? So I explain it here, because the given expression x square minus 1 is completely divisible by x minus 1 and x plus 1. So these are the two linear factors. So note, quadratic expressions can be factorized, or you can say can be expressed is a product of two linear factors. You clearly see that this quadratic expression, this is one of the example, into two linear factors. Okay, now, so in this video lecture, what we can do, we will convert the given quadratic function into the product of two linear factors, and then with the help of those linear factors we can draw the graph. This is the objective of this video lecture. What we can do now, we discuss this by taking example. The example is, sketch the graph of the function. Example, sketch the graph of a quadratic function f of x is equal to x square plus 2x minus 3. But which method we can use? Actually we are discussing using factors to sketch the graph. So first of all, we will convert this quadratic function into the product of two linear factors. It will be always converted into the product of two linear factors because the highest power of the variable is 2. So that's why quadratic expressions are always be converted into two linear factors if they can be factorized. Okay, now, so first of all I need to factorize this. So by factorizing, we use mean extreme method. F of x is equal to x square plus 2x minus 3. So you clearly see that the coefficient of x square is 1. So when 1 multiplied with minus 3, you get minus 3. So you need to split 2 in such two parts that the addition of those two parts is equal to 2 and the multiplication of those two parts equal to minus 3. Okay, there is a little mistake in this question that, okay, now, okay, this is good. Okay, this is true. Okay, so this can be written as f(x) is equal to x square 3x minus x minus 3. So f of x is equal to, I am taking common x from these two factors, so x plus 3 will remain, and from here minus 1, so this is x plus 3. So this given function in linear factors will be as, you clearly see this. This is the factorized form of the given quadratic function. Now, to sketch the graph, we need to find out the points which lie on the graph of the function. Or in other words, you can say that you need those points in a plane from which the graph of the function pass. So if I put this function equal to 0, so I get those values of x on which the function gives us a 0, which is also called 0 of the function. The value of the variable x on which the given function gives us 0, so that value is called 0 of the function. So here we are finding the 0 of the function, or in other words, you can say that here we will find those points which lies on the graphs of the function, or in other words, from that points the graph of the function will pass. So put one equal to 0, f of x is equal to 0, so that is x plus 3 and x minus 1 equal to 0. So whenever the product of two factors is equal to 0, so it means that either one of them must be 0 or both. So this implies that x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to 1. So x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to 3 are called zeros of f of x, because f of minus 3 is equal to 0 and f of 1 equal to 0. This is the definition of the 0 of the function. 0 of the function is such a value, if we plug that value in place of the variable and calculate, you will get 0. If you plug x here and calculate this, you will always get 0, and when you plug 1, you will also get 0. So these are the zeros of the functions. So from here we conclude that when x is equal to minus 3, so you clearly see that y equal to 0. So this is one ordered pair that you get minus 3 0, and when x is equal to 1, y is 0, you clearly see that. So this is 1 0. So you get these 2 points. These 2 points are such points which are lies on the graph of the function, and from these points actually graph cuts the x-axis at these points. So in other words, you can say that these are the x-intercept of the given function. So if I write correctly, so I will write, thus the points lying on the graph of f of x are, remember, if I plug this point, mean in place of x I plug -3, and in place of y if I plug 0 in this function, actually f of x mean y. You can write f of x is equal to y, so y equal to x plus 3 x minus 1. So if I plug x is equal to -3 and y equal to 0, so left hand side will be equal to right hand side. And when I plug x is equal to 1 and y equal to 0 in this function which is given in 1, so I will get y 0 equal to 0, mean these points will satisfy the given function because these are the points which lies on the graph of the function. So I already explained this point. Whenever a point lies on the graph of the function, it will always satisfy the given function. Or in other words, if you choose any point which lies on the graph of the function, so that points will always satisfy the graph, always satisfies the given function. So we can write thus the points lying on the graph of f of x are -3 0 and 1 0, because okay, that is the graph of the function cuts the x-axis at -3 0 and 1 0. These are actually x-intercepts. So you see, this is 1, this is 2, this is -1, -2, this is -3 0. So this is one point from which the graphs will pass, and this is 1 2 3 4, so this is 1 0. This is another point from which the graph will pass. This is your x-axis and this is my y-axis. Now for the points where the graph cuts the y-axis, we put x is equal to 0, mean for y-intercept. So for the point where graph cut the y-axis, we put x equal to 0. So when you put x equal to 0 in this equation 1, we get y equal to -3. This x will be 0, this x will be 0, so 3 multiplied by -1, you will get -3. So thus 0 -3 is the point from which the graph passes the y-axis. Thus 0 -3 is the point from which the graph passes y-axis. In other words, you can also say that this is y-intercept. So let's say this is -1, this is -2, and let's say this is -3. -1, -2, and this is -3. So 0 -3. This is another point from which the graph will pass. Okay. You find these points, mean you find x-intercept and y-intercept. But what will be the vertex, and how you can decide that the branches of the given quadratic function will be open, branches of the parabola will be open upward or downward? What you can do for that? So in this method, when I convert the given quadratic functions into the factorized form, so you see that the factorized form is x plus 3 and x minus 1. So you see that minus 3 0 and 1 0 are the x-intercept. So from the factorization you can actually get it easily that what will be my x-intercept, that what will be the points on which the graph cuts the x-axis. This example is in detail. In coming example we will only see to the factors, and then from those factors we can at abrupt we can write out the x-intercept and the x-intercepts, and for y-intercept we will just put x equal to 0. So the journal form. Okay, now you see that the variable x square has coefficient 1. So this is the value of a. So this a is equal to 1, which is greater than 0. So the branches will be open upward. Now this point is also done. The branches will be open upward. The next point is how you can decide that what will be the vertex. So for that, in this method you need to find out some additional points on the graph in order to sketch this graph. So for those points we will make a table. So from that table you will conclude, you will find out your vertex. You are not supposed to do the previous method for the vertex. For the vertex you must find some additional points of this graph by making this table. So for some additional points on the graph of f of x is equal to y equal to x plus 3 and x minus 1, we construct the following table. So the values of the x will be decided from the domain. You already know this point. Okay, well, let's say when x is equal to minus 4, so the value is 5. So from here you get an ordered pair. When x is equal to minus 4, so the value of the y is 5. Let's say this is 5. So when x, and let's say this is minus 4, so you get this value. This is minus 4 5. Now let's say when x is equal to minus 2, so when you put it here in place of x, you will get minus 3. So when x is equal to minus 2, so the value of the y will be minus 3. So this point, this is the point. Okay, so this point is minus 2 minus 3. You see that minus 2 minus 3. When I plug x is equal to minus 1, so I will get y equal to minus 4. So let's say this is my minus 4, this point. Let's say this is my minus 4, and when I plug minus 1, so I get minus 4. So that is the point. This point is minus 1 minus 4. You see it. Okay, next, when I plug 0, so I get 3. So when I plug this 0, so I will get 3. Okay, when I plug x 0, so the value of the y is 3. Sorry, that must be minus 3. You clearly see that. this point is here, that point. When I plug 0, so I will get -3. Okay, next, when I plug 2, so I get 5. So when I plug this 2, when I plug 1, so I will get y0, you clearly see it. And when I plug 2, so I will get 5. So that is the point. This is 2, 5. So this is the table that you construct. So from this table, you see that this ordered pair, -1, -4, is the point that is your vertex. You see that the lowest point when I pass the graphs from these points will be this point. So that is your vertex. Now this vertex is not calculated properly, but it is only calculated from the table. So these are the points. This is your graph. This will be the graph. So this is the graph of the given function. Now what we can find, first of all, we find these x-intercept. These are actually x-intercept. Sorry, intercept. This is also x-intercept. So how you can find the x-intercept? You will put the given function equal to 0. X-intercepts are the points for which the value of the y equal to 0. So when I put the given function equal to 0, mean f of x equal to 0, so it means that I am putting y equal to 0. But in this case, the thing is explained in other words. The meaning is the same. So the value of the x on which you get y equal to 0, you clearly see that I get two values of x on which the value of the y equal to 0 are called 0 of the function. So by putting f of x is equal to 0, so actually f of x is given in the factorized form. So you will put this factorized product of these two linear factor equal to 0, and whenever the product of two things equal to 0, so at least one of them must be 0. So by using this property, I plug x plus 3 equal to 0 and x minus 1 equal to 0, so I get x is equal to -3 and x is equal to 1. So these values of the x are called 0 of the function, because on these values, when I plug x is equal to -3 and x is equal to 1 in the given function, I get 0 on both cases. So you see that when x is equal to -3, the value of y is equal to 0. When x is equal to 1, the value of the y is 0. So these are actually your x-intercept. So here we write that these are 2 points which at which the graph cuts the x-axis. So the same meaning, these are the x-intercept. And what you do for the y-intercept, put x equal to 0, so you will get y equal to -3. So 0 minus 3 is the y-intercept. 0 minus 3 is the y-intercept. You clearly see in the graph, this is 0 minus 3, this is your y-intercept. But we just write, in other words, that this is the point from which the graph passes the y-axis. Same meaning. Now, so you can find in this way, when you have a function in factorized form, so this is your x-intercept, this is your y-intercept. But for the rest of the points, you must make the table, and from this table you will get the idea about the vertex. There is no proper calculation for the vertex. And how you can decide that my function is the branches will be open upward or downward, because this is a quadratic function and its graph will be always a parabola. So for that you will see to the coefficient of x square. But a question arises, if a function is given in the factorized form, okay, this question is done, that is the graph, this is the requirement of the example which I already done. But now the question arises if a function is already given in factorized form, x plus 3 and x minus 1, this is the factorized form. So how you can get that the branches will be open upward or downward? You didn't need to multiply this and get the journal form. You need to compare this function with this form, a times x minus p into x minus q. This is the journal form of quadratic function in factorized form. This is the factors form of quadratic function. In this function, the graph of this function passes the x-axis at point P0 and Q0. You must remember this. So here the value of P is minus 3 and the value of Q is plus 1. So you clearly see that minus 3, 0 and 1, 0 are the points from which the graph passes the x-axis. So in this factor form of quadratic function, you remember that P0 and Q0 are actually the x-intercept, mean from these 2 points the graph of this function will pass from the x-axis. Okay, and this A, which is in the product with these 2 linear factor, will tell about the shape of the parabola, that the branches will be open upward or the branches will be open downward. So if A is greater than 0, so the branches will be open upward, and if A is less than 0, so the branches will be open downward. So here when I compare this equation, let's say this is 1 and let's say this is 2, so I clearly get the value of A is 1, so the branches will be open upward. These are your x-intercept. So P0 and Q0 are your intercept. Remember this point. P0 and Q0 are your intercept. So when you compare the given quadratic function which is given in the factor form with this factor form of quadratic function, so you easily get the x-intercept, mean the point from which the graph passes the x-axis, and for y-intercept mean the graph passes from the y-axis. You plug x equal to 0, so you will get that, and from this value of A you will get the shape, and for the vertex you need to plot some additional points using this table. So in this method this table will find out the vertex for you. So this is the procedure. So this is the example. Inshallah, I will also explain another example in coming video on this topic. So I hope you will get clear. So this is in a little detail. In coming video we will use this form, and that will become a short method. Thank you.